It's already 22 days into the year 2026, and people are wondering, how can I start this year differently? Well, today on the Ghana Insider, we'll teach you how. Why? We have two special individuals here, and if you'd ask me why they are special, I mean, I don't want to spoil the fun for you, but today you get to know. And these people are from the Takeoff team. We have the propounder, Reverend Bernard Oseidua, over here. And he's not here alone. He came with his project assistant, Naki Day, also seated here beautifully. And if you are wondering how to start the year powerful, strong, and bold, how to even plan ahead, today they are here to tell you something. It was prepared just for you. So sit tight and watch what they have for us. Hi guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
How are you doing?
We're good. We're good.
Okay,
Doing
so
great, thank you.
okay. I know you came with good news. And Reverend Dua Oseidua, you are the propounder for the Takeoff event. And I've been following some of your media engagement on social media, and I realized you are a counselor, a coach. And it surprises me that you don't touch on just finances and money, but sometimes you talk a little bit about relationships and all of that. That's quite interesting. Okay, so the Takeoff event is happening on Saturday. First of all, I'd like to know what informed you to start this initiative in the first place.
All right, thank you very much. And thanks to your cherished viewers for having us. I think that one of the things I've come to realize that many times people start the new year very excited.
Okay.
People start the year with a lot of hope, with a lot of aspirations. You know, this year is going to be this. And for those of us that are Christians, when you go to church, you end up finding your bishop or your pastor with a New Year message and a declaration. This is going to be a year of glory, a year of this, a year of manifestation, a year of... I mean, there's always something. Yeah. And this is coming or stemming from the crossover service. And whether you crossed over, jumped over, crawled over, walked over, I mean, people go over things. Yeah. Then suddenly, it's the new year. And they have this great hope that everything is going to be okay. But you see, hope is not a strategy. You may have hope, but hope alone is not enough to get you through life. Look, by March, a lot of people lose steam. And that is why feeling good about something is not enough to get you through and be successful at whatever you're aspiring to. So creating a system and a structure around what you are involved with becomes very critical if you have to succeed at what you're doing. So the inspiration around Takeoff is we're beginning the year. A friend of mine and one of the facilitators, his name is Chairman Stephen Asian, said that January is not a fanfare. January is not a party. It's a construction site. You know, so January is a time where you build all the things. You scrap the things that are not useful for the year. You reevaluate, you reassess, you review, you look at where you were, what you failed at, what didn't work good in the previous years, and what you can be able to change to have a different result. And so in January, one of the traditions we have built is to come to a conversation where we have very important, critical conversations around our lives, all the things we are involved in, and how we can structure ourselves to see success by the time we come to the end of another year. And this is where the inspiration for Takeoff began.
Okay. That sounds very interesting. But I'd like to know which people in particular is this event open to?
Okay, you want to go to it?
Yeah. Okay, so the event is open for the youth. Okay. Basically, entrepreneurs, young leaders, startup business owners, basically anyone who wants to take charge of their life, career-wise, any other aspect of their lives, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get you. But I realize that almost every time we have events as this happening, what's unique about this particular event?
Oh, man. Okay. So if I may contribute a voice here, I think first, the speakers on this program is something that I don't want anyone to miss.
Okay.
For anyone who's been in the media circles, I think that a voice like Bernard Avle has been a champion on thought leadership. As a young gentleman, his zest to be able to drive impact in community is something that I think is inspirational. So immediately, Bernard and I spoke, and he heard what it was about. He was like, Charlie, let's do it. Now, for those of you also on social media, you may definitely come across Big Godwin Mate. Big G is a very exciting entrepreneur who is also very influential on young people, especially thought-provoking, conversations that Big G can have with you. And we're bringing him in, we brought him in to speak about how you can affect or disrupt your comfort zone. And he's been a champion on that conversation, how people get so comfortable with where they are, with mediocre, and to that effect, it doesn't actually help their lives. Chairman ACN is speaking about connecting relationships. The gentleman has built an entire career around relationship management. So when you have him speaking to you about how you can create and maintain and retain strategic relationships. Look, a lot of us go into events, we go into network meetings, and we pick cards. And guess what? That's the end of it. The best you do is you send an email or a message to say, I appreciate you. It was nice meeting you. I look forward that, and that's the end of it. What happens next? How do you actually harness that relationship, nurture it, and get the best out of it? So the topics we've selected are carefully curated to let you walk out of the sessions with the kind of, challenge that can never leave you the same. And I think that the speakers we have been able to bring together is one of the reasons that makes this different. Not just that. Look, this is not a motivation. This is a challenge to build a strategy to do better. Look, I don't enjoy motivations because you can take a good cold shower and be motivated at something. You can have a hot shower and you're good. Good food gives people different motivations, right? Yeah. But discipline is better than motivation. When you discipline at something, it's all about, I'll give you an example. I can be motivated that this year I'm losing weight. I'm losing 50 kilograms, right? I go to the gym for 2 weeks. I don't see any change. My motivation for going to the gym can change right there because I'm not seeing the results I'm looking for. But discipline says that you may not see the results now, but if you keep at it, the results come. A lot of us are looking for motivational speeches, and this is not one of them. This is a room when you get to, people will challenge your thoughts and the things you are involved in. This is what makes this a special one that you cannot miss.
And I've been trying to understand your team. It says programming the year to start strong, plan bold, and execute very well. And I think this team, it captures like a lot of things. But let's focus on the programming phrase. I mean, programming the year. What does it truly mean? Does it have to do with goal setting, or does it go beyond that?
I think it goes beyond that. Look, you can go through life either by default or by design. By default practically means that you are approaching life, taking it when it shows up. The kind of mindset that says that when I get to the bridge, I'll cross it. When life shows up, I will show up. That kind of approach. Or you actually go through life having put things very well thought through, having an idea. So for example, this year, what is one thing you want to do to improve yourself? What did you lack in the previous year that didn't get you to succeed at something? And for that matter, you want to make it a life goal that in 2026, you want to get it over the line. Okay. All right? Immediately you have that mindset. It actually changes a lot about you. Because you see, when your mind, let me put it this way. When your heart decides a destination, your mind designs the map that gets you to it. So what are the things you want? What are the things you want to see? So many people want different things. They want to see relationship getting better, they want to have promotions. But Have you built the capacity that gives you that? And if you are not actually taking yourself through proper thinking and structure around yourself, that helps you to work towards those things, it will not get better. All right. So, the element of programming is saying that have a plan. There must be a systemic thing you are doing. Every successful person I have met has a structure they have for their day. And they can tell you when they wake up, when they go to bed. And these things are structured because something you do daily will determine what you become permanently. If you cannot find what you are doing daily to contribute to what you want to achieve, you're actually not working at your goals. So me saying I want to lose 50K in 2026, and I start by going or taking a walk 1 day, 2 days, I don't find myself doing it again. I don't find myself in the gym again. Yes, I may have the goal, but the structure, the programming that leads me there doesn't exist. And that is what the programming is about.
Interesting. Well, it looks like we are leaving you out of the whole conversation. So let me come to you. Reverend did mention discipline and the fact that you have to be consistent to see results. So you realize that sometimes it's not even just about discipline, but people need motivations to keep moving. And if motivation fails you or disappears completely, how do you manage to stay disciplined? Because normally it looks like motivation moves with being disciplined. I don't know if one could go without the other, but when there's motivation, there's discipline. So what if motivation fades completely? Can you still try to remain disciplined?
Okay, so I think that is where the program comes in. Okay. That's where our summit comes in. We are going to have speakers that are going to give it to you straight. Okay. You don't always need motivation to stay disciplined. You have a clear path. You have a clear plan. You're saying this year, this and this is what I'm going to do. It doesn't matter whether I'm motivated. It doesn't matter whether I wake up and I'm not in the mood. You see, human beings like to be in the mood to do certain things. This time we are saying, this year I'm going to try and be financially independent. Even saying try is wrong. I'm going to be financially independent. And so I'm going to do this and this from January to December, and I'm going to continue in 2027. So this year, I'm not going to spend recklessly. This year, I'm not going to purchase anything I see on social media. This year, I'm going to budget. Every month, I'm going to spend 10K. Every single month, it doesn't matter. There's a new event, there's a new party, I have an engagement. No, I'm going to look at what I already have and use them. So that's where the discipline comes in. You're going to structure your mind, program your mind basically, and say that, okay, this is what I have to do to reach financial independence. Okay. So that's basically what the summit is going to help us do. It's going to help us be disciplined in the absence of motivation, in the absence of a good mood, in the absence of satisfaction, of being satisfied, of being comfortable. They are pushing you to be the best you can be.
Okay, you did mention consistency and financial stability. So let's be real. The fact on the ground is that people or young people are actually working very hard, but they are still being stuck. They are not getting to their financial goals and all of that. What do you think they are doing wrong?
Okay, so first of all, let's look at ourselves, right? Mm-hmm. Before we were employed or right after university or something, all you were thinking about when you get employed is, I'm going to get employed to probably move out, to buy these things that my parents are getting for me, to be able to make my own financial decisions.
Independent.
Yes. But we are thinking about short-term plans. If I'm being very honest with you, I was thinking about short-term plans. I get a job, I'm going to buy this and buy this and buy this. What about the future? I didn't think about investments. I didn't think of what I can put my money to do. So that's where young people are getting stuck at. We're thinking about short-term satisfaction. We're thinking about what we can do right now to be happy right now, to be fine right now. We have to think about the future. In 10 years, I want to have been able to build this. In 10 years, I want to be able to say, I did this, or I am doing this, I am building on this. So that's where they are going wrong. Short-term satisfaction.
Okay.
Yes.
I like the fact that you mentioned like a period, that's the long-term and then the short-term. But Reverend, what do you think should be the main focus if we are trying to attain like a long-term momentum on a particular thing?
You see, the thing about long-term goals always come to the short term.
Okay.
So let me take a practical example. Okay, we are in the studio, right? And the task for you is to be able to get from here to there. Okay. Now, you may try to jump from one end to the other, but you may probably not succeed. But imagine if you've got steps that you can take one at a time. People have plans for the future, but that future plan doesn't also describe the daily plans that get you to that future plan. Do you realize that you will never be in tomorrow?
I mean, you never know.
Never.
Yeah.
Look, I mean, practically, you will never be in a day called tomorrow, because when you get there, you will call it today. The only place in life you will ever be is today. If you don't know how to make today well, how are you envisioning making tomorrow better? So the secrets of the future is hidden in your daily routines, the structure, the programming. What are you doing daily? So I say again, something you do daily will determine what you become permanently. So if we're talking about long-term goals, those goals are broken down into smaller chunks that you can achieve to get you to the bigger goal. All right? This is why it's important to understand, how do I map myself? When we do strategy sessions with organizations, they may have a 10-year development program, but those programs have daily, okay, when are we doing this? By what time should we have gotten this over the line? Because all those smaller things are contributing to the big picture. And that is why it's important to understand something should be happening every day. You want to be an author. You can never script 1,000 words on Facebook or something. But you think you can just wake up and write 100-page, kind of a book. Dude, you inherit vanity and the wind. You see, and that is the problem. People have all these, I always say that everything is possible from your couch. My kids stay in the house like, I want to swim. I know I can. I was like, look, it's not that easy. No. But it's just being in the water, and they step in the water, they're going down. And I knew that the movement had changed. So the statement became very clear. Everything is easy from your couch. Get on the field, you know that, dude, things are not that easy. So if you're not actually taking the daily steps to learn through the ropes, you're not helping yourself. And that is why the Takeoff Empowerment Summit is one that you cannot miss.
Okay. So I believe mindset goes a long way to help you even reach your goals.
That's correct.
So sometimes you come from the previous year and you are stranded, you are disappointed because the previous year was very disappointing. How do you reset your mind to prepare for the year ahead?
You want to go, I should go for it. Okay. So resetting mind, you should now, reset has become a political word.
Oh, yeah.
But for us, look, it's so important what happens to your mind. Because I'm yet to see one person whose mind got stretched and remained the same. That is why who you listen to, where you are, what you are listening to is a very important ingredient to what you end up becoming. Look, think of it like this. One day I heard a story about Usain Bolt and how he became a professional athlete. It was just at PE time in school, running around on the park. One teacher says, the way you run, you could be a very good sprinter. Changed the story. Something you hear determines what you pursue. Something you hear about determines what actually gives you the energy to go after the things you want to have in life. This is why I think that if you have to do better, something needs to happen to your mind. In fact, you can never rise above the accuracy of your perception. What you think about life is how you live it. In fact, you only live in the house your mind builds.
You only live in the house your mind builds.
They can put you in a mansion and you end up in 6 months making it look like a trash can. Why? your mind hasn't connected how to handle where you are. Someone can live in a one-bedroom apartment. When you enter that room, you go like, wow. Because in the mind, there is something that guy has built. So his environment is even a limitation. He wants more. I see people who want big places, big houses, but the mind doesn't have what it takes to handle it. So I say again, you can only live in a house your mind builds. Perception, mindsets. And this is why the people on that panel, the speakers we have brought together, will shape that mind, and you will look at your life differently.
I was listening to, I remember Naki mentioned earlier that when you are planning, you have to plan like big. You don't have to just focus on very little things. But one thing I've realized is that, I don't know, should plans be flexible? Because sometimes you can plan, okay, by the end of this year, I need to get a house, I need to buy a car. But in the middle of the year, you realize that, hey, it doesn't look like that will be happening kind of soon. So then, do you think our plan should be flexible, where we can adjust or probably make changes here and there?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
Because man is a social being, things happen, environment changes, a lot of things happen. Do you understand? The plan must be flexible, but there must be a progress alongside the plan. The plan was to get a house this year. This year, so many things happened. So you were not able to get the house. But you look at your savings, you look at how you managed your finances, and you see that, oh, okay, I couldn't get the house, but I see that I'm building stacks, I'm building. Maybe next year I can get it. Do you understand? Once you're on that, and it all comes to discipline. Do you understand? Mm-hmm. You plan every month, you're going to save this. But in February, something happened. In February, you got a girlfriend. You got a girlfriend in January. In February, you want to surprise her. Some of that money went to it. In March, it's your parents' birthday. It's Father's Day. It's Mother. You didn't add all of these to your plans. Do you understand? And you wanted to do so much for them because now you're employed. Now you want to do things for people who are doing things for you. All these things came in. You can fall sick. You're not in control of that. Someone may have passed away. You had to contribute. Someone got married. Someone got engaged. Someone gave birth. All these things will come in. But most of the time when we are making some of these plans, we don't factor in some of these externalities. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so the plan must be flexible. It must be open to changes. It must be open to negatives and positives at the same time. But there must always be a progress report that you have alongside the plan. You couldn't get this. But this year, you could get a laptop. You could buy your own laptop. That's a plus. You couldn't get your house. You couldn't get your car. You couldn't buy a brand new car, but you could buy a used car. Progress. It's still progress. So you have to add the progress reports to the plan. Put them side by side. See if you are actually succeeding, if you're actually climbing up, if you're actually being better than you were last night. Not better than you were the previous year, but better than you were last night. Every morning you wake up, you have to think about it. Am I better? Or am I going to do better than I was last night? And all of that is going to help you. So yes, the plan has to be very flexible.
Okay, you did mention progress. And you realize that in this century, we measure progress by the kind of amount of money that you've been able to get, by the fame or how popular you become and all of that. Do you think these are like metrics that we should use to assess ourselves?
These are not metrics we should use.
Okay.
Recently, I was listening to something and the speaker said, just assume everyone is lying. Even if it's true, even if you have the evidence, assume they're lying, assume they borrowed it. You understand? You can't use that same metric for yourself. You know where you are standing. You know that every month you're getting 1K. Someone is getting 10K. You are not in the same space. Okay. You are both going up, but you are not in the same space. You have to measure this. Okay, with 1K, this is what I can do. This person is doing this with 10K. That is their story. That is their problem. That is their house. Do you understand? In your house, this is what you're doing. So you don't have to measure with someone else's own. Use your own metrics. Your progress, it will always be different from someone else's progress.
Okay. So is it better to pursue like goals and obsess over them? Probably you have 10 goals that you want to, and reference this to you. Probably you have, let's say, 10 goals for the year. And you know very sure that it's just two that you're very obsessed with, should you focus and execute all 10 at a go, or just pick up the two that you're obsessed with and work on just that?
Okay. Some goals you can negotiate on.
Okay.
There are some goals you cannot. You might have goals for your health. Unfortunately, you cannot negotiate that off.
Right.
Look, people have many problems in life. One day they fall sick, they get carried to the hospital, then suddenly they realize that they have only one problem. Because sickness and death is just one street that separates them. So when you have health goals, you cannot, you can't procrastinate that. Now, you may have goals for relationship, goals for education, goals for your finances, accommodation. There are so many goals you can have for yourself. What is important is how you prioritize. You don't have enough resources to take care of everything you need to. So in economics, they'll teach you about, because there's scarce resource, you must have what? The scale of preference. What do you prefer to do first? What must come next? What can you not do without? That without it, things will not be the way you'd expect it to. So if you have 10 things to achieve, what is irrefutably number one that must be on the list that you cannot joke with? What should be number two based on the resources you have? Do you understand? So I think that when it comes to making the decision of what goals to pursue, you need to look at the scale of preference, whatever you have at your disposal, measuring the scarce resource you have available. You need to now make that decision to prioritize. Either than that, you might end up using all your resources to do the things that are not really, really necessary and valuable. And the day that trouble arrives, you don't have what it takes to solve it.
Okay. One thing I've also realized is that when it comes to planning, it looks like planning is more easier. But when it comes to executing the plan, that's the craziest part. And that's so difficult. People normally overlook it and like, I'm planning for the year. But they forget that execution of the plan is very, very difficult. So probably you touch a little on that, because I don't want you to give it all away. We have to be there on Saturday to, get a full meal. So please touch on it a little.
Okay. You wanna? Okay, yes. I think that one of the things about planning is it's exciting.
Okay.
Look, I want to do this. This year, I'm sure being here this year, you have things you plan to do.
Of course I do.
You know, I met this gentleman lately who is matching everything with his dressing. If he wears a green suit, he must get a green shoe and the spectacles must be green.
Okay.
If he wears a red something, color blocking was not an option. Everything must go the way it is, So, look, planning is great. The good thing about planning, it excites a lot about what you intend to do and what you intend to achieve. I think that planning adds something to you. When you look through the scriptures, it talks about, I'm a pastor, I'm allowed to quote Bible.
We can't leave that out.
Yeah. The Bible says that good planning and hard work brings prosperity. Even God acknowledges that the element of proper planning. Look, I keep saying that places are powerful. God made places before he made people, before he made things. Environments are powerful. Where you find yourself will be able to affect where you will end up. This is why it's important that when you're planning, it must be very comprehensive, but approach it in a way that is bite sizes, smaller things. What can I do? Yes, that's the ultimate goal, but what small things can I do to get me to that ultimate goal? That's simply what planning is. People can overcomplicate things. Don't. Make it easy. Make it simple. So planning needs to be done in such a way that give yourself the time. Be easy at it. Think through things. You may not get everything, but you know the good thing? The ones you can, work through it. Because when you start seeing the results, another level of strength and zest enters your system to want you to push yourself harder. And that's why I think that it becomes easier to plan simple, then you can go on to the bigger thing.
So one of our execution is that you need to have certain skills, like we mentioned already, and mindset as well. Your mindset has to be set towards what you have planned to be able to execute it appropriately. So what do you think are some skills that an individual, like skills you can't do without, that individuals should be able to adopt this year in particular, so they'll be able to achieve all their plans and goals?
The skill of self-evaluation is one of the very, very, in fact, the best gift you give yourself this year. Self-evaluation, self-assessment, right? I'm not saying evaluate to compare, because it's the results you find from evaluation that now what you do with the results. Self-evaluation to assess where you are, where you intend to be. Are you there yet? Are you working towards it? I think I forgot the name. When I get the name, I'll show you. He said something. He said, life is understood backwards, but lived forward. You understand life going back, but you live it going forward. So having that skill of making time with yourself to assess, look, I said this year, I want to do 1, 2, 3. Let's use financial goals, for example, right? About 4 years ago, I realized that, look, when it comes to Christmas, it's the time I spend the most because of the various obligations I take on. 4 years ago, I decided, you know what, I want to approach Christmas spending differently. Guess when I finished spending for Christmas? By October. Because I made a budget that every month, there must be something I put down towards December that I don't touch anything. That made me even change that. I've never taken the kids to shopping on Christmas because they do their own shopping. You must earn what you take shopping. So if you don't earn, you know what is happening. You are buying yourself the lollipop or the chupa chop. And that's it, because that's where your resources come. So I think that when you are able to have a better understanding of what you are achieving, execution becomes easy. Right? Look, you may fail. Execution doesn't mean success. Execution is action. Taking big steps with small thoughts. So the things you've thought through, taking the steps on them, that's execution. All right? And so when you plan, and you think this is what I want to do, start working towards it. So for the guy who wants to save money and is waiting for big money, and this is a problem and sickness with a lot of people. I want to raise 10,000 by December. Guess what? They are waiting for one big work they can do. They maybe get some 30, 40,000 so that they can keep the. It never happens. So when I said I want to save 10,000 to have in December to do what I want to do, all I need to do, okay, every month something needs to get out of my salary. December out from January out from February, every month. It's not my money. So I started making up my mind that my 5,000 cedis or 7,000 cedis or 3,000 cedis is not my salary, because that money is not mine. It's already taken out. That mindset saved me a lot. So when I'm thinking of planning for my resources, I've already deducted that money from it. So imagine earning 3,000. You want to have 5,000 by December. It means that 500 cedis is not your money. So right from the onset, you know that your income is 2,500. You save and spend what is left. You don't spend and save what is left, because you might end up with nothing left.
So while we come to the end of the conversation, Naki, I would like you to tell us one uncomfortable truth about success that people do not like hearing at all. One uncomfortable truth about being successful. If you want to be successful, something you have to do that's quite uncomfortable.
So I'm going to let Reverend come in at the end.
Okay.
Because I don't know how strong my point will be. But but I don't think any successful person thinks they are successful. It doesn't end there. Even after reaching a certain point, you see them going on. You see, sometimes you'll be sitting down and you get maybe news updates. and it says this person that you already knew was rich is now richer. If they thought they were that rich previously in 2025, you will not get that update. They are still working hard. So the thing about success is it never ends. It keeps going on and on and on. There's no end to it. Maybe there, but there's no end to it because no matter what, see iPhone for instance. We were there when iPhone 11 was very popular. Or you think it's great. 11 Pro Max comes out. 12. Oh, the 12 is different. 13, 15. We keep getting new updates because they are not ended. They are making newer versions. They are making better versions. That's how people are. That's how people who want to be successful are. It doesn't end here. It doesn't end when I hit this point. It keeps on going. So I'm going to ask Reverend to also come in with his own.
Okay. So your question was about one truth people hate to hear.
Yeah.
About success. I think one of the truth people hate to hear is no one is coming to help you.
Oh, this. Yeah, because no one is coming to save you.
No one is coming to save you. And until you take your life into your hand and be the architect and the driver of that vehicle, you'll be amazed what you'll be faced with. I think that a lot of us, the people still do have the mindset that someone needs to do something about them being successful. No one is. It took me maybe 15 years to understand this truth. My cousin said to me years ago when I landed in South Africa and needed help, he told me straight, take it like you go to a place and you know no one. What will you do? I didn't understand. In the beginning, I thought he was being some way. He was being somehow. He was being wicked. I didn't understand it. Years later, I did. Look, if you are drowning and there is no lifeguard around, what will you do?
Trying.
I don't want to die. The thing is, I don't want to die. So it's either I swallow the shark or the whale swallow me. Something need to swallow. Let me drink as much water as possible, but I have to get out of this water. I think that mindset to know that, look, if I get people to help me, that is a plus. But no one is coming. That mindset changes the game for you. So when people disappoint, you just shake the dust off you and take the next step. I think it's one truth people fail to. So when they hear no from someone, they drop the ball. They're like, okay, no one wants to help me. I want to drink. Masa, go and drink. Stop this nonsense. Do you understand? So I think it's one truth that for me, I have come to understand that it's a truth people need, but many times they don't want to hear it. That's my thought.
So, Naki, final words. What do you have to tell someone who's listening to us, watching us, and is still undecided about why they have to come and all of that? And also, I want you to touch on the price for the tickets to attend the event.
Okay. You decide at the event. When you come for the summit, you are going to be exposed to so many wonderful speakers, people who have been through it. And when I say been through it, I know you understand. People who have been through it have come out of it and want you to also come out of it. So that's basically what's going to help you decide for yourself what path you want to take for the rest of your life. It's not only for February. It's not because February is the next month. It's not only for February. It's not only for 2026. But it's until. So that's basically it. The price for the summit is 200 Ghana cedis only. You can afford it. So please come.
Okay. Reverend, did you have final words for us?
You know what? This pricing thing, you know the cost of pizza at Cheesy Pizza.
I think
go on their special promo. go to the special promo. I think what Why am I promoting Chisekiti? But I mean, they do it for what? 220. I know the price because I've bought it a couple of times for, people or my kids or my staff and look, you can spend that money right now. Have that pizza, and by evening time, Charlie, you feel you've not eaten for the day. But what you receive there, right? I don't think it is fair what you are receiving and what you are paying. Forget snack. Forget that there is opportunity to jump onto a paid internship if you're looking for an opportunity. Forget that there's an opportunity for entrepreneurs to be actually getting the chance to be on grants for an environmental project. Forget about the fact that you can actually qualify for the CalBank partnering Moguls Academy to bring in an entrepreneurship 3-month project or program that develops your whatever ideation you may have. Forget all that, right? Just being there alone, the things you experience, the catering, the environment, all the various things that happens there. If we are costing this properly, I run workshops, right? A full day workshop will not cost you less than 2,000 for such a program. So to pay 200 is not even a ticket. It's just something to say, look, I'm also committed in investing in myself. And that is what it's about.
Thank you very much for making time and explaining what the Takeoff Summit is all about. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us. We're grateful. But let's take this minute to just appreciate our sponsors. I think that is very important that we don't lose sight of the people who are holding us up. Where is my... Oh, you want to talk to it? Okay, all right. Okay. So... Okay, go for it.
Okay, so we've got Jobs Afrique sponsoring us. Fruiter's Treasure. They make amazing fruit juices. You can try their grape. They also have other flavors. A lot of people like their grape. We have cocktails by Cocktail Degoni. They have cocktails and mocktails, and they are available for any of your events.
And I hear they're giving free cocktails
yes,
to everyone.
and they are going to be giving free mocktails to every attendee at the Takeoff Summit. We have our wonderful Piva. Piva water. We've got Piva soda. We've got Piva. So please come. They're going to give us freebies as well. The Ghana Insider, of course. We've got Bod Mogul Consultancy. Value added books. They have any book you're looking for. They have all the books you're looking for at Value Added Books. We've got Remery Select, the main distributor for Cocktail Degoni. We've got Evolution Consult, Elevation Consult, and Studio 29 Visuals. Okay. So we want to thank all of them for this sponsorship.
And I think our partnership with CalBank, a special thank you to CalBank for partnering with us to do this. Thank you.
So who you listen to, where you find yourself as well matters a lot. So this is me trying to tell you that you need to be at a Takeoff Summit, this year's Takeoff Summit 2026, and watch your life change. Like Reverend said, if you eat a box of pizza, it's going to finish. But if you get yourself or you find yourself at this event, it's going to change your life forever. Thank you for watching.